Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good time in quarantinos. At least in the UK anyway. I don't know about the rest of the world, but some restrictions are being lifted. Everything is slowly, very slowly going back to normal, and you know, some gyms are opening, restaurants are opening. Everything is just baby stepping along the way, and we're almost back to normal life, you know? So I thought I would make a video about getting back into the gym, because I know a lot of people are kind of worried or like struggling, like, oh my god, like I haven't been to the gym in 3, 4, 5 months. Like how do I even go back? Like I don't even know where to start again. I don't know what to do. I don't know what exercises to do. I'm here to make a video to help you, okay? To help you through your gym experience after quarantine life. You know, we're all going through it. Unless you have a home gym, then I'm very jealous, okay? Very. Okay, I'm just gonna jumpstart this video with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is take it slow, okay? I know, you know, you haven't been to the gym in ages, you just want like a really sweaty, really good session at the gym, and you want to lift heavy again, and you want to do all the stuff you were doing before and see the progress you were seeing. If you were doing, you know, 5-6 days a week of training, do not just jump back into that, because your body is going to be like, whoa, what's going on? I didn't realize we were doing this again. Like, I'm not there yet, you know? Especially if you've not been doing home workouts. Oh my gosh, please don't just jump in with like the quantity of times you're training at the same pace as before, because your body just won't handle it and you'll burn yourself out. 2-3 weeks down the line, you won't be able to do anything. Your body will just be so incredibly sore, and it's really not worth it in the long run at all to do that. You want to just very slowly introduce it back into your life, not only for your body and recovery's sake, but also just for your like mental state. You don't want to just overwhelm your brain with like all this crazy amount of exercise when you've not really been doing much for the past 3, 4, 5 months, however long your country has been in quarantine for. So yeah, go slowly. Start with maybe just 1 day, and then maybe another week down the line you add another day onto it, and then keep adding another day and another day until you are sort of slowly back to where you were before the quarantine hit in terms of like training frequency. Obviously this will depend on your workout plan as well. Like not all workout plans are the same, of course. Some have more days, some have less days. It will depend on what workout structure you are following. If you are following one of my guides, which I will link down below, in one of my guides as well, especially the intermediate one, there are 2 lower body days. I would honestly recommend just start with 1 at first, and then the second week already sort of jump into the second one basically. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is do not be so hard on yourself. There is no need to be. Everyone is in the same boat as you right now. It's not like you were just crazy, just like lazy for 5 months. It's because, you know, we've all been put into a really difficult situation in terms of what we can do, and the gym just so happens to be one of those things that we couldn't do, you know? Obviously on social media you see everyone doing home workouts every day and like, you know, so motivated still, but let's be real. I maybe did a home workout like 6 times in this is embarrassing, but maybe like 6 times in like 4 months, you know? So it's just harder to do at home. I find it like I struggle with it a lot too, to train at home when you live in an apartment building, especially because you don't have a garden, you don't have like fresh air coming in, like it's very closed. So home workouts in an apartment, it doesn't feel great, let me just tell you that, okay? I'll do them, but would I prefer not to? Yes, you know? So if you haven't been doing home workouts, or if you just, you know, didn't really track so much your calories, or you didn't really eat very well, or whatever it is, please don't be so hard on yourself, because like it's been a tricky time, you know? Everyone's been through a really weird situation right now where it's just not the usual time. Obviously it's good to always you know, eat well and make sure your body's healthy and your mind's healthy and everything like that, but if you didn't, it's fine, you know, it's fine. So So yeah, now on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is a very, very, very important one. If you're going to take any tip from this video, please take this tip. This is probably one of the most important ones, and that is to not go to heavy weights. Go light. Please, 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 please. Go light, because if you haven't been training, or if you haven't been actually lifting weights, or if you don't have weights at home or anything like that, and you just go to the gym after months off and instantly load on like 100 kg on a deadlift, you ain't gonna have a very good time. You might have a good workout, as in you might feel good after the workout, but you are in insanely high risk of injuries, of not being able to recover properly, of actually delaying your progress. I don't know what's wrong with me. You're actually delaying your progress because your muscles aren't going to be able to heal properly. So if you're in it for the long run, which I'm hoping you all are, please, please, please don't just jump back into your usual weights. Start slow. Who gives a F what people think of you in the gym in terms of how much weight you're lifting? It doesn't matter. You shouldn't be concerned about anyone else. If people are lifting super heavy, straight away the first day that the gym reopens, either they have a gym at home and they've been, weightlifting at home, or they're not the smartest. Because it's really bad, because your muscles are not used to it, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to be in the long run, and we want to see the biggest, the biggest amount of progress we can see. So basically, yeah, and that will jump into tip number 4. Tip number 4 is kind of like a carrying on from the last one, is progressive overload. Your body before quarantine was up here. Let's imagine a graph on the screen. Your body was up here in terms of intensity, in terms of frequency, in terms of everything you were doing in the gym before quarantine. As quarantine happened, you slowly dipped down, and then you sort of stagnated maybe a little bit at the bottom. And then imagine being all the way down here and you were up here before, to suddenly going up here again. You can't just skyrocket up again. Again, this ties in with practically all the other points in terms of recovery and not letting it be too much of a shock to the system. So the best way to do it is to gradually, if we gradually came down, we gradually go back up. And by the time you're up here, you've actually gained a lot more progress along the way, because you have been progressively overloading, progressively getting more weights on there, progressively intensifying your workouts, progressively increasing the frequency, which is hence progressive overload, and that is how you grow. If you guys have my intermediate guide, I do talk a lot more in depth about this and really dig deep into the science behind it and why we're doing that and how exactly it reflects your workouts, and just so much information about progressive overload and why I've built that training guide the way I have. So if you do want to have a look at that, or you're quite interested in that, the link again will be down in the description box. I also have a beginner one as well if you have no idea what I'm on about. So yeah, those will be down below. So tip number 5. So tip number 5 is don't stress too much. I've gotten a lot of messages, but basically people saying like, oh my god, Bella, like I'm freaking out, I'm panicking, I've basically lost like years of progress, like it's all gone, like I don't know what to do with myself, it's just all this hard work I put in just disappeared. Trust me, it has not disappeared. Your muscles have a really good memory system in place. If you once had an amount of muscle, your body remembers that, so to get back to that point is so much easier compared to if you were just starting out. Do not stress at all, because it will be easier to get back there. compared to someone that's never been there before. The longer you've been training, the more your body remembers how much muscle you had, and the easier it is to maintain that and also get it back, basically. Obviously, if you were a beginner and you'd only been training for a few months, then, you know, you're kind of starting all over again in a way. So don't stress, but also don't expect your progress or, you know, your physique to just look the exact same after a few days or like a few weeks of the gym, because we also need time, you know, it needs time to actually build back to where it was. So don't stress too much about it never coming back, but also don't stress too much about it not coming back quick enough. So last tip is tip number 6. So tip number 6, also a really important one. Again, all these tips kind of tie in together a little bit. Tip number 6 is form. Your body has not been doing those movements, or even if you have, let's say, been doing, you know, body weight squats, it's still different to barbell squats, or, you know, dumbbell deadlifts are still different to barbell deadlifts. Just because your body's sort of been out of it for so long, it's really important to just watch your form, because any slight sort of, you know, bending your back or doing something wrong could lead to an injury. So please watch your form, please make sure you're doing the movements correctly, and your body will slowly, like, you know, be like, oh yeah, okay, this is how you do this, like, I remember, okay, we're back. Kind of tying into everything, if you put a bunch of weight on there and you haven't done deadlifts for a really long time, I don't even want to think about it. It just scares me. It scares me so much because of the fact that I've been there, done that years and years ago, and I've sort of learned my lesson from it. So yeah, please be careful. Do a bunch of warm-up sets first. Start with just the barbell. It's going to cost you nothing to start for one day with just the barbell again, and slowly, you know, make sure that everything is spot on for you to progressively overload and get better and not suffer any injuries. Do the form like correctly, then, you know, just jumping straight into it like all the other tips. So take it slow, my friends. Take it slow, take it easy. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I really do. I tried to sort of give all of the most important tips to you guys, and just really try and prevent any of you from going through a bad injury or just burning yourselves out or losing more motivation and not being able to continue for the long run. Again, the link to my guides are in the description box. Also linked to Alphalete. I'm wearing an Alphalete bra, which they released last week. My code is Bella if you guys want to support me with any Alphalete purchases. I thank you so much if you do choose to do that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!